Hello and welcome to Dreams of Wings, and welcome here to Leknes. Yes, we are back in the Lofoten archipelago. We're above the Arctic Circle. It is blooming cold, but look at this beautiful scenery. Absolutely stunning. If you follow the channel, you know we've been here before flying helicopters, and also some time ago we had a group flight up here as well. But it is just absolutely stunning, and I'm very pleased to be flying a P-51D. I've been wanting a P-51D that I wanted to fly in this simulator for some time, and I think I might just have found the perfect combination that for me brings it all together. Why do I keep saying for me? Because we're all different. We all like different things. We all appreciate different things. But this for me, having flown the A2A Mustang for many years in FSX and P3D, this for me is that kind of Goldilocks P-51D at the moment in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Anyway, enough of my waffle. Let's get in and let's get in the air. Okay, well, with no time to lose, although it's hard not to admire the scenery, let's get cracking. So, first of all, this is not a tutorial. I flew the P-51 quite a bit in P3D and FSX, but I've got out of touch with it in MSFS and MSFS 2024, really because there wasn't anything particularly viable for me. So now it's good to have a P-51D to fly, and I will make mistakes, and I'm going to this is just kind of a handling training mission, if you like, takeoff, landing, that sort of thing. So I will run through some starting procedures, but it's more of a flow rather than by the checklist, so don't shoot me. Right, okay, so quick check. We have parking brake is on, that's all good. Okay, I'm going to crack the throttle. I'm going to put prop fully forward, leave mixture in idle cutoff. Everything else is where it should be. Our ram air is where it should be. Our carb heat is off. Quick check of physical controls just to make sure everything is where it should be, and it is. That's good. Right, coming round onto this side, we will pop on the battery. Everything starts to come to life. Hear the sounds coming up. This Echo 19 sound pack really is blooming gorgeous. Right, let's not get distracted. Okay, so we've done that. I'll have the generator on as well now. Let's open the fuel cock. I will have fuel on main left-hand tank. That's all good. Just preempting a few things. So for takeoff, we're going to want rudder 5. And we're going to want some nose down 6 degrees. There we go. Just wind that there. Blah blah blah, blah de blah de blah. Okay, I think we are good to go. Just make sure I've not missed anything. So what I'm going to try and do is a start a bit like what I used to. If I've got it right from the last time I flew the Aeroplane Heaven one, you can't necessarily do it because it seems to automatically do something with the mixture lever, but I'm going to try and remember to do this correctly, so I'm just going to lift the cover there. So first of all, let's have the fuel booster on. There's a couple of gauges that don't work at the moment in this mod. This is I'll talk a bit more about it in the air, but this is a kind of a work in process. So there's a couple of gauges that aren't necessarily working, but we won't worry about that. Okay, so that's all good. The supercharger's in the auto position, so I'm happy with that. Let's prime. 2, 3, 4, 5. And let me just get this right. So I'm going to press the starter. So I've got my left hand on the mixture lever and press the starter. Not the cover, the starter. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have the mags on, please. There we go, and now mixture to run. Oh, ho, 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 ho. See, our fuel pressure gauge isn't working at the moment. But that's fine, I have faith in Randall. He knows what he's doing. Okay, just letting everything warm up nicely. The carb heat doesn't seem to work particularly well at the moment either, so that's just something we need to bear in mind. Right, let's get the... oh, this is one of the... not all of the switches work either. Let's get radio... oh, it's that one, isn't it? It's the angle we're looking at. So the landing light switch there doesn't work. Those all work. But over here we do have a landing light switch, which does work. So just a few things to take into account. Really is a beautiful, stunning sound set. So we're not going to be using the radio today. We'll put it on just to show willing. But this is freedom of the skies, no ATC or anything like that. Quick check outside. Let's just check. Yeah, we've got hydraulics working, flaps are working. So quite happy with that. Just double check my mixture position is in run and not emergency rich, which it is. Just gonna, there we go, yeah, just checking that D10 position, and everything else is good. Listen to that sound. Stunning. Okay, so we're going to be taking off runway 20. We are going to have a bit of a crosswind, so that's something that I will need to contend with. But I think it's time. Oh, let's do a quick. We'll do a quick run-up check. So let's cycle the prop. Get the oil out in the governor. Make sure that everything's working. And let's do a quick mag check. That's so good. Okay. So yeah, we've got to enter the runway and then backtrack a little bit. I have a nasty feeling, you know, that I've got multiplayer on. So, or have I? No, I haven't. I was going to say, because I might need to watch out for not annoying people banging into them. Okay, so quick check of the brake. Yeah, that's all good. Gorgeous scenery, isn't it? So let's just calm things down a little bit. A bit carried away with ourselves here, taxiing a little bit too quickly. Oh man, this is what it's about. Some people don't understand the idea of flying warbirds in a civvy sim like this, where you're not shooting things, but for me, it's about flying restoration warbirds. That's what I simulate. So it is quite wonderful to be able to do this kind of thing. And there's nothing quite like taxiing a Mustang with these sounds. And I have to say, the ground handling in Randall's mod is rather good. Although I need a bit more practice driving it around, but that wasn't too bad. Okay, let's just line her up. Okay, right, quick look down, prop fully forward, mixture's where it should be, that's all good. I have adjusted the trim, so that's absolutely fine. Landing light is on. Engine instruments, the ones that are working, are absolutely fine. Tickety-boo, let's close the... there we go. Right, let's aviate. So I'm going to try something different. Normally, so far with the Mustang, I've been doing stick back. I'm going to do stick to the right slightly, just to see how that feels. And then as the tail comes up, the idea is that the stick should be centered. So let's add some power. Everything's looking good, let's roll. Oh, a bit squirrely there. Let's get that back. Remember the crosswind. And we're up. Gear up. Back on the RPM and back on the power a little bit as well. Got some low level turbulence here, we're getting knocked around a bit. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Very Christmassy. So we'll come back round. Do a quick pass at Leknes. I had to cheat a little bit, by the way, with the timing to get the right lighting and everything. So I've set the clock back to October because actually this time of year it's quite dark. There's some of that low level turbulence again. It's quite interesting, you only seem to get it in some aircraft in this sim. But yeah, suddenly it bites you. Just when you're close to the ground, which is a bit unnerving. Really is like something off a Christmas card, isn't it? Something that I've noticed at the moment is you see how the coastline is morphing. I was seeing that in a fair bit in certain areas, and again only in certain areas in SU3, and I wondered if that might change in SU4, but it still seems to be a little bit of an issue. But it doesn't detract too much. Right, so we've reset our rudder trims, that's all good. I'm just going to adjust the elevator trim a little bit. It's quite sensitive in the pitch, so have to be a little bit careful with that, not to get too harsh. Look at that view. By the way, if you saw the Aerostar video yesterday, I erroneously said that Atmos didn't work with SU4, and some people quite rightly pointed out, Rob, you idiot, it does work if you use the public beta. So that's what I'm using now. I'm using the Andrew Bennett presets for Atmos and Enviro. I'm not using a weather preset, yeah, it's working absolutely fine. So, stupid me. There you go. It's working just great as long as you get the beta. Maybe by the time you're watching this, the actual update, the full update, will have already been released. So anyway, just talking about RandallSnow's mod, which, as I say, for me has absolutely transformed the Mustang. It's a real labour of love. He knows what he's talking about. He's definitely an enthusiast, and the idea is it's using, and these are the words from his page, the add-on uses model attachments from the MSFS SDK to implement various fixes and improvements while remaining compliant with copyright laws. It also requires ownership of the original model. Key features include an animated canopy, improved landing gear visuals, and cockpit switch functionality for the 3D pilot model. The mod is currently in early development with plans for further enhancements and updates in the future. And I actually urge you to join his Discord. I'll put a link to that down below if you want all the latest news. Join his Discord as well, of course, as the Dreams and Wings Discord. And I'll put a link to that down below, so you can have a look. But honestly, this is wonderful. You may have seen the video not too far ago where I used the Aeroplane Heaven P-51D with his mod, and it certainly for me improved that, but something still wasn't quite right. I think the Aeroplane Heaven cockpit might arguably look a little bit better perhaps from memory, but in terms of how it flies, I think for some reason, for me, and I keep saying that, for me, the Asobo one with his mod works really well. And although it's not at A2A yet, it's definitely going in the right direction, and Randall is continuing to work on it with what he's got. He can only work with what he has in front of him, but he's doing an absolute grand job. Watch out for the power lines up ahead, that could be painful. But it's all about the feel of it, and it feels really nice. You know, I know there are people who love the AE Aeroplane Heaven P-51, and I'm talking the people that fly in real life. You know, they've got pilot's licenses and all that sort of thing. And I'm a very firm believer in the who the hell am I to tell you what to fly. It's one of the reasons I don't do a huge amount of reviews, because let's just look at that scenery for a moment. Almost expecting a polar bear to walk out. But you know, it's what you enjoy. Flight simming isn't about someone telling you what to fly. Hello, look at that. It's not about someone telling you what to fly. It's about you doing what you blooming well enjoy. If you want to fly an aircraft, you fly it, and if you enjoy it, you enjoy it. Doesn't matter what some fella in a YouTube video says. This is very much just my own personal kind of experience and feelings and what I'm enjoying. And I just happen to, for me, the RandallSnow mod with the Asobo standard issue P-51, so that's a good thing. First of all, if you are thinking about getting into this, you don't have to pay for anything with the P-51D, it comes with it. You just need to get the mod from flightsim.to. By the way, links all down below. And you can get cracking. The only thing that you might want to consider is buying the Echo 19 sound mod, which I'm using here, because that, you know, blimey, that Tyler's a genius with sound, and it just sounds great. That's interesting. We got flipped a little bit by the wind there, and I kept that bank in just because I wanted to talk about it. But yeah, a little bit of turbulence there. We've got a 15 knot crosswind at the moment, according to little nav map. So that's kind of what we're dealing with. Now, quick check of the speed, because what I want to do now is, I've got so carried away talking to you, we are slightly off track, so I just need to pop over here. Oh man, mountains and warbirds, perfect. Just pop over the top. Looks like we've got a bit of a frozen lake here, which you'd expect. A little bit of turbulence again there. You do have to be really careful, because especially flying like this, all of a sudden you think you're dialed in and suddenly it flips a wing. Just come through this gap. Down into this fjord. I'm just going to give myself a bit of room here, because we've got a tight left turn coming up. You may remember there was a program, I can't remember if it was Sky or something like that, called Twins. It was like a mystery set in Norway, and this was the area here. You might remember, or some of this might look a bit familiar to you. So let's come down. Great scenery for flying helicopters around here, really is. Back on the power now. Oh, there we go. A little bit of turbulence there, rocking us around. That was interesting. Pitched us down. Beautiful. Sometimes just worth shutting up for a moment and appreciating what's going on outside. Just increase the beams a little bit. One of the interesting things for me with using this mod is that I've had to kind of relearn landing the P-51. It's it has kind of quite realistic physics. It's a challenge, but it's not an unreasonable challenge. You don't feel like you're, you know, flying flying something in GTA. And it's a different kind of landing than I would normally do in the Spit. The Spit is a little bit more floaty, you know, it kind of glides down. The P-51, you have to fly it onto the runway a little bit more. So that's something that I'm a little bit rusty on, but nonetheless, it's all about practice, and that's why I do this kind of thing, because it is all practice. Just really appreciating the scenery. Okay, so we are going to come back down. Check your everything. Power a little bit. The speed, don't want to go overspeed too much. I love it when you can see the shadow of the aircraft on the ground. I don't know if you caught that just there. Pop over the top here. Love these little towns. I remember, yeah, it was on the original Discord. We did a group flight with float planes, and it was great fun in the summer. Lots of different places to have a look at. Right, so I need to start thinking about landing, because that's what we're going to do now. So we're just going to come round. I'm going to do a run in and brake, and then I'm going to land. I'm telling you now, it's not going to be the prettiest landing. There's a lot of people out there who are a lot more skilled at this than I, that's for sure. And I am rusty on type. But, as I said, it's all about practice. It would be boring if it was easy, and that's one of the main things about, or one of the things that really attracts me to flying warbirds, is that flying these tail draggers with huge amounts of power in the nose is always a bit of a challenge. It is not the same as your flying instructor's Cessna 172, that's for sure. Always amazes me the young pilots who had to fly these for the purpose that they were designed. How they were able to jump into them and get to grips and fly and survive. It's just amazing. Okay, so anticipating some of that horrible low-level turbulence again. There it is. Suddenly grabbed the aircraft and wanted to flip it to the left, and now it's bucking around a bit, as you can see. This is going to be interesting. Having to crab a bit because of the crosswind. Okay. Back on the power. There's Dangle Dunlops. Starting to turn in. Adding some power, adjusting for the P factor, and I think I've probably cocked this up, but we'll see. Let's have some little bit of flappage to get us going. So I'm going to, yeah, I need to shut up and concentrate a moment. There's the turbulence. Ooh! Go around. So you see, just as we get really close to the ground, the turbulence just grabs hold of the aircraft and flips us. So we're going to do that again. Interestingly, I've just looked over at the weather, and we now have an 18 knot crosswind, which is not clever. Probably explains half the reason why that was so interesting. But yeah, I'm going to do things slightly differently with this time round. So let's have gear down. Actually, just bringing the RPM back a bit. It's actually it's hard to anticipate that kind of turbulence because it's so vicious. The other thing with this aircraft is it drops like a stone. If you chop the power, it really does drop. So you have to be very careful with that. And I think I probably overdid it before. So we're coming in a little bit steep. Not going to go all the way with the flap this time because of the crosswind. We're a little bit high. There he goes. There's that blooming turbulence again. Oh. No, go around. Gear up. Just when you think you've got everything dialed in, and the turbulence just takes you. It's funny, we had a group flight the other night and I landed it first time round. The wind wasn't too bad and it felt great, but this strong wind now, what is it, 19 degrees, 19 knots crosswind, is making it very interesting. And that turbulence really low down is a blooming nightmare, if I'm honest. Because you've got everything settled and then it's literally like a giant hand has grabbed the aircraft and is twisting it. Okay, coming back on the power there. Let's drop the gear. Back up on the power again. Adding some more flap. See the windsock blowing right across. There's turbulence. Oh! Okay. Wow. I told you it wasn't going to be pretty. And that's what happens. But that's the challenge. That is the challenge. So what happened there was that again the turbulence absolutely whips the aircraft round and completely messed everything else up. But as I say, it would be boring if it was easy, and this was never going to be a tutorial. But if anything, what it does show you is the challenge of flying warbirds like this, especially when the weather's a little bit dodgy, is really interesting. I do sometimes wonder about the some of the low-level turbulence you see in the sim sometimes, because it does seem a bit odd, but hell, I'm just making an excuse. And by the way, anyone who put in one of those Battle of Britain film quotes about the landing, yeah, I've seen it before. Okay, well, it's been wonderful having you along. Scenery was gorgeous. This Mustang is really quite beautiful. And I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you on the channel again soon. Take care now. Bye bye.